Guys, I'm super excited about our new sponsor for the pod. You guys know that John hates when I talk about working out, but it's a big part of my lifestyle. Well, something else has become a part of that lifestyle, and it's called Fit 8 energy drinks. I'm actually drinking the blackberry pineapple right now, and I could try to describe how good it is, but right now you can actually save 40% off your first order of 24 cans of Fit 8 energy plus free shipping. Wild! So you can try it for yourself. You guys just need to visit www.drinkfit8.com/marriedtoreality. One more time. www.drinkfit8.com/marriedtoreality and make sure you put the www in the URL. And I'm looking at John, and he's also drinking a can of something delicious. You want to tell us about it, Jonathan?
Yeah, you actually just caught me mid-sip right there, Teresa. I am drinking the peach mandarin flavor. I think it's my favorite. It's refreshing. It's delicious. But the best part, all the flavors are 100% naturally sweetened with none of that gut-killing aspartame, no sucralose or Ace K. Words I can barely say, words I don't want to hear Teresa even try to say. Plus, Fit 8 Energy is packed with all the essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients you need after a workout, like branched-chain amino acids, glucosamine, electrolytes, turmeric, omega-3s, and vitamins B, C, D3, and E. And maybe my favorite part, Fit 8 has 200 milligrams of clean caffeine from green tea. Clean caffeine from green tea, Teresa. So I get the energy I need without any of the synthetic ingredients.
I love that. Do you want to know what my favorite part is?
I think I can guess, but tell me, Teresa.
My favorite part is that Fit 8 Energy is only 15 calories per can, and it comes in 4 very delicious flavors, including mango sorbet, yum, raspberry hibiscus, yum, and of course peach mandarin and blackberry pineapple, yum yum.
So, like Teresa said, right now we're giving our listeners 40% off your first order of 24 cans of Fit 8 Energy, plus that free shipping by going to www.drinkfit8.com/marriedtoreality. Again, www.drinkfit8.com/marriedtoreality. We'll also put the link in the show notes, so check it out. And thanks again to Fit 8 for sponsoring this podcast. What's up, Meshbuka? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Jewish Matchmaking Edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife, co-host and resident Gentile. It's the one and only Teresa right there.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Doing better than Dani. Oh.
Episode 5. I actually think Dani's awesome.
I like Dani. Dani reminds me of quite a few people I went to Hebrew school with, but yes.
I like that she speaks up for herself and she does whatever she thinks is best for her, and kudos to her. I think there are a lot of girls out there who would not be as vocal as Dani, and I'm glad she is.
No, I know. I agree, and I'm not taking anything away from her. I just think she's a little unlucky in love. She's now been on a couple dates with a couple different guys, and it's been no bueno.
Yeah, well, she will find her mashbuka.
Her family?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll jump into Dani in a second. Real quick, check us out on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/Married to Reality for Love in Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic show. And follow along wherever you're listening. So easy to do. Just click down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as all the Yiddish words I'm learning.
Hey, I'm schwitzing over here. It's getting a little hot.
How many words do you know?
Oh, 3? I've said them all. Yeah. And last but not least, if you guys haven't left a review, please do. Drop a Yiddish word or two in the review if you want, if you know. And if you write something and leave a 5-star review, we'll read it on the 90 Day Fiancé podcast,
yes.
The Monday night podcast. All right. Episode 5, back to Dani. Back in Miami.
Yes.
Hanging with her friends, talking about David. David was the original date that Eliza matched her up with.
Yeah, the first date, and apparently they've been talking and FaceTiming and Zooming the whole time she was in LA.
Yeah, you think that's a good sign because the whole deal was, well, let's take a break. I'm going to be in LA doing God knows what for a month and a half. Let's press pause, but it seems like they were pressing FaceTime and other sorts of buttons.
Yes, but now she's back, and they were supposed to meet, and he kind of, the day of the meeting, he's like, oh, like, I don't know, like, you can pick the place. And she just felt like he got lazy. Like, she wants a guy who's gonna be the leader.
Ugh. Is David Tel Avivian? Because it sounds like a classic Tel Avivian fuckboy flake.
And so Dani kind of got turned off, and she canceled the date. And I think David got the idea. Like, he picked up on it, right?
Well, they ended up going out later. Like, they
Yeah.
reconciled and ended up going out later. But Dani was already kind of over it at that point.
Yeah.
And she thinks David picked up on those vibes. And so now she's feeling, if you really want to be with me, you can make the effort.
Yes, and we also learned that they kissed already.
Oh, yeah. So the friends, right? She's with her friends, and the friends are like, well, we got to see a photo. Let's see this guy. Let's see who you're schwitzing over. And she whips it out, and they're like, okay, he's tall, and he's cute, and he knows it. One of the friends was not impressed, but everyone else was nodding along with Dani. And yeah, have they kissed yet? Once. A good makeout session. There was chemistry, which I think is the reason Dani was holding on.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And so the friends are like, well, if you had a makeout session, if it was good, if you were vibing, give it a chance, right? Give it a chance. But first, let me ask you, how big is his mezuzah?
Yeah. Oh, she doesn't know just yet.
You asked me, and it hasn't come up on this podcast in 4.25 episodes, what that thing is that people keep touching when they walk into the home.
Yeah.
That's a mezuzah.
Oh, so that's not penis?
No, she was being a little cute. So a mezuzah is rectangle shaped, so it's penile-like in a sense. But it's what if you go to a Jewish friend's home or your family and you see that little box attached to the door frame, that's a mezuzah.
Do you guys have it?
We have a mezuzah.
You do?
I'll show it to you next time.
Yeah.
It's there's like a special scroll, like a special paper inside with some commandments. Inside. Yeah, there's a prayer inside.
Well, I walked through your parents' home doors multiple times over the years.
I think it's the one going from the garage to the living room.
Well, I've been going through those doors hundreds of times.
Maybe my mom, call in. Did you guys remove the mezuzah?
Yeah, is it above the light or something?
No. It's on the door frame. It's not on the wall. You would have to, like, as you're right halfway in between the door, look, like, above. It's...
Oh, okay. So, yeah. I never looked for the mezuzah. I thought mezuzah was a penis.
No, that's what they were alluding to, but it is not. It is not. Okay. So, new day. We learn David bailed on Dani's birthday party.
Without even telling her, he just didn't show up, which is ridiculous.
Pretty disrespectful. This is worse than Ori behavior, I would say. I know you think Ori's the worst, but this is worse than.
Well, this sucks. Yes,
this is
sucks.
not good. This is not good. But she's giving him another chance.
Yeah, but she's gonna tell him what she thinks. She's gonna tell him what's on her mind.
So they go to a racetrack.
Yes.
That's where this date is. You could tell things were tense, and he still had those stupid red glasses hanging on his shirt.
Yeah, it's his vibe. I don't mind that. But he goes like, well, how was your birthday? And she goes like, yeah, what were you? It was great. And he said it was on Shabbat.
Yeah, which is a good excuse.
But he should have texted her. Like he just didn't show up.
If he was like,
when he
hey, found out.
Thanks for the invite. I don't think she invited him at 7:30 p.m. and it started at 8.
Okay. Because if it's Shabbat, you're not on your phone, you're not texting.
No, oh my gosh. You plan your birthday party.
I'm just playing devil's advocate over here.
No.
So basically, Dani just comes right out and says it in respect to Dani. She's just like, you and I are not going to work. I felt really disrespected by you.
Yes, and David kind of feels the same in a way. He's like, yeah, I guess that is not the vibe. And then he asks her to be friends, and she's like, no.
Yeah, there was this weird thing like, yeah, I think we'd be better as friends. That's what David said. And Dani's like, so you want to be friends? I almost feel like he's just trying to sign up as many members for his social club as possible.
But this was the weird thing. He's like, yeah, and if you want me to be somewhere, I'll show up. And then she's like, so you would show up to places with me or go out with me when we're friends?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And then he asks if they can still make out. So he's like, well, can we at least be like friend-ish?
It's very strange.
Very
strange behavior.
And she's like, absolutely fucking not. Like, no, like we're not gonna be friends. We're not gonna be friendly. That's it. Like she's like, I'm a queen. I want my king. On to the next one. I'm super excited. Like, this is not gonna work. Thank you and goodbye.
I'm gonna find a new man who's hot, tall, and brings me flowers.
Yeah, you do you, girl.
Maybe David's the type of guy who you don't know what you got until it's gone. And then he saw her leaving. I was like, oh no, what did I just miss out on? Please, let's make out. Please give me another chance. But no, have some self-respect. And Dani has some self-respect. And she's moving on.
Good for her.
All right.
Next is Noah in Jackson Hole, Wyoming on a date with Eliana.
Who's from Florida? Shout out to Florida.
Yeah, 31 and loves to travel. She's a pharmacist.
Yes. And they're doing this like horse-drawn carriage ride, which
I didn't like it.
On paper, it sounds magical.
Yeah.
But in reality, it looked terrible.
Yeah. Especially there was not a lot of snow on the ground.
Right, because it was on skis.
Yeah.
Not on wheels. But it just, it looked muddy and sloppy.
Yeah.
And not ideal.
Not ideal, but they do have a lot of things in common. Eliana is also kosher at home, but not out.
Yeah. That's like a lady in the sheets, but a freak in the bed. Or no, that's like lady in the streets, freak in the sheets, but strike that, reverse it. Lady in the sheets, freak in the streets. Because they're going non-kosher.
Yes.
They're going non-kosher out in the streets.
Yeah, so they're talking about their past. He tells her he has a son in Israel. He was married, and they seem to like each other.
Yeah, it doesn't scare her off.
No.
And he's an older boy. He's a 12-year-old son. He's going to have his bar mitzvah in June.
Yeah, and so I did the math. He said he had the kid at 21 and the kid is 12, which brings him to my freaking age. And I thought he was in his mid-40s.
Oh, okay.
He's 33.
Yeah, and she's 31.
Yeah, but I literally thought he was way older. He looks older.
Well, not everyone's blessed with amazing genetics. Okay.
Okay.
So,
they're going out for drinks, and I almost feel like we've been at that restaurant.
I know. I was
It's
trying
the one that's where my guys, we talked about it on many other podcasts of ours, but long story short, we went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, went on this crazy long hike, forgot how high up we were, I didn't have a hat, and then on top of that, we went to see some wildlife, took the roof off of our Jeep, and so more sun was coming at me, and I basically got so badly sunburned that there was pus coming out of my head.
Oh, boy.
So anyway.
You needed a yarmulke to cover that thing
Oh my
up.
gosh, I needed a huge yarmulke, and I did get a nice hat at Leasty's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Leasty's. But anyways, we went out at night, and that was the night I started getting really, really sick. I was getting really dizzy.
You're right. I think that was that
I was
restaurant.
like, it went from 0 to 100, and I spent the night throwing up.
You're right. But before that, we went to a nice restaurant. You could barely eat your meal.
Yeah.
I was a little upset.
But I think that's the restaurant.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So they're there, and they're feeling a connection. Feels pretty good. So Noah asks Eliana, what is important in a guy? And she says, well, I've never been able to put this into words, but I guess someone who's willing to do things for you and commit to you. So I think she just wants someone who's there for her, like someone who supports her. And yeah.
I was just going to say they're chatting, but the conversation isn't floating as well as I would like.
At first it was.
At first, it was on the horse, but I feel like once you get all the classic questions out of the way, and it gets deeper, like you need to have something in common or vibe, otherwise it gets kind of weird. And it did, because he brings up a book he read. She wasn't really following.
He's like, well, I read this book about relationships and how they evolve over time, and it starts with a river and how ships go in the same direction, but some can go in opposite direction. And it's like, that's kind of how relationships are. And Eliana just goes, that's interesting. And then he's like, oh boy, okay, that's not working. Have you noticed that the moon rises here? Oh, cool. Yikes. Okay, well, This isn't going well.
Yeah, well, Eliana told the cameras that he's such a nice guy. He's nice, warm, and fuzzy, but it's just not that. Like, he's more of like a small town nature guy.
How dare you shit on Jackson Hole, Eliana.
Exactly, right? But
That's
she's
the
a big
most
city girl. And,
Beautiful small town.
oh my gosh. We would love to live in Jackson Hole or in Bozeman.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 different places, but yes.
Yeah, I genuinely loved Wyoming and Montana. We would need to get used to the grizzly bears a little more.
Yeah.
Because we were afraid.
We'd have to trade the Gators for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, but
That's all
we
right with
loved
me.
it.
Yeah. So, new day, Eliza FaceTimes Noah, and he says, date went well, but Eliana wanted something fresh. And maybe that's true, but it didn't seem like that's what bothered her, the fact that he was married and had a kid. It just seemed like they weren't vibing.
Yeah, they weren't vibing. And I think it's, as I said before, it's okay. Some girls just want to have a partner and go through the whole marriage, kids experience and that to be their first, especially in a younger age. Like if you're dating later on in life, then, well, there is a big chance that that person already has a past, right? But if you're young in your early 20s, early 30s, for myself, I don't think I would want to date a guy with a kid and who was already married. Like I just wanted to experience it with the guy who's also going to experience it with me for the first time.
That's on Eliza then, because I would imagine Eliza knows that Noah was married and has a kid, and so she should run that by Eliana and say, hey, are you open to dating someone who was previously married and has a child?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're wasting everyone's time. This
That's
poor
very true.
girl flew out from Florida.
That's very true.
Is she just taking a free vacation in Jackson Hole? So I have to imagine that wasn't a deal breaker, or at least she said it's not a deal breaker. But then when they met in person, she said, we're not vibing.
Yeah. And I feel like the reason was that they were not vibing. And on top of that, she's like, yeah, no, he had a past. Maybe that's not what I want. Maybe she realized that.
Maybe she realized in the moment.
Yeah.
But what's the point of a matchmaker if you're not going to go through these surface things like, yes, he's a father.
Oh, yeah.
And
At
make
least
sure
I
that's
should have told her. Yeah.
Yeah, and make sure that's okay.
For sure.
All right. Back to Faye in New York with her
Yes.
mom, Rachel.
Real quick, we just got this little snippet of Eliza calling Noah, and he was like, yeah, we weren't a good fit, but Eliza has a new girl for him.
Yes.
We didn't see her just yet, but hopefully in the next episode.
She wasn't even that specific. She goes, I have a new idea for you. What could that be?
Well, I hope it's a new girl.
Uh-huh. I hope it's not. Well, it could be like, get back together with your wife and kid, Noah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either, but she has a new idea.
Yes.
We'll see what that is at another time.
And so let's go to Brooklyn. Faye, no, she's not in Brooklyn. She's in somewhere in New York, but not Brooklyn.
Okay.
I think she said she grew up in Brooklyn Heights.
Maybe.
Anyways,
New York.
New York. And this was my favorite segment so far because I feel like it's so different. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, no, that's why I love the show for sure.
Yeah.
Is that, yes, it does bring me back, but then it also just opens my eyes and educates me on the other end of the spectrum.
Oh, yeah. And so she's talking to her mom about the date because so there is a date with Shaya.
Yes.
Eliza is super excited about this day because she thinks they're going to be 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, and mom has heard things about Shaya. This is like how small of a community it is.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's the mom's job at this point. It's the mom's job to be like, all right, I need to see who his family is. Oh, we know each other.
Yeah.
Perfect.
She's like, I called some references. I checked on him, and I'm happy to hear. Like, I've heard he's got a great sense of humor. I like what I've learned.
Yes. So, date with Shaya.
Well, first, this was one of my favorite parts of the segment. Rachel goes, let's guess his car. And mom's like, let's guess his car. And so Faye goes, I think Tesla. And mom goes, nah, Infinity or an Acura. But then, yes, Shia pulls up to the curb and we see nobody wins. It's a BMW.
It's a BMW, yes.
Yeah.
So he pulls up. And so he walked to the house and rang the bell. Rachel opened.
You really do have something against Ori. You're just going to gloss over the fact that Shia tells the camera, I come from a very good looking family. Thank God. I'd be considered a catch.
Yes, but I feel like he says he knows he's good looking, but he also says it as a joke. He like jokes about it.
Man, I got to figure out what it is that about Ori that you have against him.
He does not like women.
I think he does. He's just very picky.
No, he likes women as trophy wives. He wants to bang and parade around, and I hate that.
When you put it that way, I can see why he would irritate you. Okay,
yeah.
But Shaya comes from a very good-looking family, thank God. So I'd be considered a catch.
Yes, and so first, and I assume this is how it works in the Orthodox community. First, you go inside the house, you chat with mom a little bit before you meet the girl.
You got to pass the test with mom first.
And so far so good. Mom is like, we have some family members in common, or we know each other, right? And then we have Faye. So Faye's allowed to come in.
Yeah, Rachel calls Faye, and immediately she sets her eyes on Shaya, and there's like a sparkle in Faye's eye.
And they both are very good looking. Let's just say that. Yeah,
they are. And they head out. Shaya, he's nervous. He's excited. And he's into it. And they arrive at this restaurant. And it took me a second, but it makes sense. I go, it's all Jewish people.
A lot of yarmulkes in the background.
A lot of yarmulkes. It must be a kosher spot.
Oh my God, 100%.
So
and that's what I was thinking. Like, I feel like if you live this Orthodox lifestyle, you probably live in a community or in a city or town where that's more common. So there are places for you to go.
Yeah. Now, I should have done research before I said this, but I didn't know I was going to say it. When we were living in New York, did you ever spot like a fishing line tied around telephone poles, like going from pole to pole?
No.
In Manhattan? No. Okay, most people don't notice this, right? It's high up, it's clear, but it actually relates to Jewish tradition. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's like a ruv or a ruv. It's basically a metaphorical roof, right?
Okay.
Because on the Sabbath, you're not allowed to carry certain items out of your home. You can't carry keys or a wallet outside your home. You can't push a baby stroller. So they've tied this fishing line from pole to pole. It's like insane. You can follow it. I think it's hundreds of miles. No, it's not. I'm lying. Tens of miles.
Okay.
That just encircles certain areas. And it's this metaphorical roof that allows you within that zone to go about your business on the Sabbath. And carry your keys, carry your wallet, push your baby stroller. And so, yeah, if you're in New York City, I think it's actually in multiple cities, but next time you're out and about, look up, see if there's fishing line. That's what it's all about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. How did we get to talking about this? Oh, because you were talking about the communities, because we think this is a kosher restaurant. And like, yes, you stay within in these bounds.
Yeah, like when I lived in New Jersey, I lived very close to this town called Teaneck.
Yes.
Which is an Englewood, there's a lot of Orthodox Jewish communities.
Yeah.
And when you went to like a ShopRite, right, there was always a couple of aisles they were labeled kosher and everything within. Same for like these like meat stations, and they had these kosher products everywhere. And I first didn't know what it meant, and I learned.
That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, because I saw everyone here, and normally you don't see a restaurant filled with yarmulkes.
No.
But it makes sense. Why do you wish?
Because I like looking at yarmulkes. You don't wear one. I don't get to see them often.
No. But did you see, I forget for which segment it was, but they said the decorative yarmulkes, like Elisa's friend.
Oh, it was when they talked about fish.
Oh, yeah, the fish yarmulke. Yeah, exactly. Yes, you can have fun with your yarmulke.
I love that. You should have fun with your yarmulke.
If I were to wear one, yes. So they're at this restaurant. Drinks hit the table. And Faye's like, oh, so you're pretty cool with the alcohol situation?
Well, she's drinking too, but I guess it was a mocktail because she says her family, they don't drink.
It's so funny because, Shaya's like, well, I don't drink a lot, only special occasions, which that's sweet to say. I guess this is a special occasion. And Faye goes, oh, yeah, nobody in my family drinks. And Shaya goes, I'd hate to see Purim in your family.
What does it mean?
Purim is a Jewish holiday. It's like... It's like a Jewish Halloween almost. It's a party. You dress up in costumes. You eat the Hamantaschen. You give gifts to friends. Like,
that's fun.
It's a party. And so that was just great. He's like, I'd hate to see perm, and you're like a sober, dry perm. I would hate to see that. But
but he's like, I drink wine and or a cocktail or a beer.
He has fun. There was a connection though, right?
Oh yeah, I think they were chatting. They were alive. There was this like awkward love, and I think they're the first couple on the show that I'm like, oh my gosh, there was this instant connection. I couldn't understand him because I think he was speaking so fast
and like quiet. I think a little bit, under his breath.
Shout out to subtitles. Thank you, Netflix.
But yeah, it went well. Shaya enjoyed the date.
Oh, they both enjoyed it very well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because do you realize like they finished and they were walking around or walking to the car? He had his hands in his pants, so like tied behind his not to even like accidentally touch her.
Yeah, you got to follow the rules, Teresa. Don't want to ruin a good thing. Don't want to touch before marriage.
No, we sure did. No?
But yeah, did he say like after he dropped her off and then he did a little dance like down the front steps?
Date ever.
And he goes, I just had the best date of my life.
I loved it.
Yes.
And she was like, her awkward laughing was just so telling.
Yeah, no, it was good. And you could see how you could go from first date to chuppah.
I think they're going to be in the chuppah within the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. Let's keep an eye. Yeah. Good for Faye and Shai. All right. That is episode 5. It was a quick episode. I think like the actual episode was 20 something minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a short but sweet episode over here too. Thank you guys for listening. We have episodes 6, 7, and 8 dropping over the next few days.
Woo!
So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. It's a good time over there. Message us, call in, share your thoughts. Also join us on the Patreon for Love in Paradise. Patreon.com/Married to Reality. Having a great time.
Yeah.
Over there. You guys can get in at the Cousins Club level for audio only. You can get the Family Affair level if you want to see us on camera doing the podcast. And the Family Affair level also gets a bonus episode once a month. So good times all around. Make sure you are following the podcast right here, right now. So no matter what we drop, when we drop it, if it's another wild bonus extravaganza like this, you'll get it as soon as it drops. It's so easy to follow the podcast. Just look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hard as the fishing line John just told me about. Because
it's interesting, right?
Very interesting. I love it.
Yeah, very interesting.
So you can, it's like your little bubble that you can be you.
Yeah. So smash it like it's that hot. And last but not least, if you haven't left a review, please do. We love the love. And if you leave a 5-star review and write a little something, we'll read it on the main podcast, the 90-day podcast.
Yes.
So please drop us a line and a rating.
Yeah.
All right. That is all. I think I've said it all.
Said it all.
I've said it all?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's time to say shalom then.
Shalom.
All right. Just rolls right off your tongue, doesn't it, Teresa?
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. All right. We've said it all. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, you'll be able to chat with us from space. Maybe you're asking, why are you spending time on insurance in space? Shouldn't you be sculpting something out of moon rocks or jumping around with no gravity? Insurance seems more like a back on Earth kind of thing, right? Actually, in the future, space is no big deal. Errands are totally appropriate.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.